28 minutes. Tin, 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 tin.
Oh,
Okay.
de acuerdo.
Oh, thank you. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. We're back.
We sure are. And today,
we're gonna talk about living bilingual. Dun, dun, dun. So this is Maga Talk, and I'm Mariana,
I'm Gahansha.
and that's that. Ding. So I guess the first thing we would really need to know is what it means to be bilingual. Because I didn't really know what it means. So we kind of went and looked at a dictionary and see what it meant, because we had like different ideas of what it meant. And I think that what we found was that it meant equally fluent, right?
Yes.
So when I was living in Mexico, and I was exposed to English, and I even worked as an English teacher for a while. But it's a complete different thing to be fully immersed in a second language.
Mm-hmm.
Like living in a second language is a completely different experience.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Gahensh is bilingual too, in case you didn't know. You also speak a little bit of Haitian Creole, right?
Just a little bit.
Right.
So, yeah, so as far as my experience, so I was born and raised here in the United States. I am Haitian American, as Mariana had just pointed out. But I never really got to learn Haitian Creole. So the reason for that being is that when I was younger, when I was like a baby, my mom had noticed that my language skills were like lagging. So I wasn't really forming complete sentences. So when she brought me to the doctor was like, okay, you know, Gahensh is confused because he's hearing two different languages at home, so just stick with one language so he can, you know, so there's no more confusion. So that's what they did, and I never really learned Creole after that. Like, I know a little bit, they've taught me some over the years, but the language that I picked up when I was, I think, 5 or 6, was Spanish, and I had been studying and taking Spanish classes since I was 6 up through my college career. In my undergrad studies, I minored in Spanish, and now I use it in my day-to-day life, whether I'm talking with my friends like Mariana or for work. But yeah.
So, yeah, like seriously, that was such an ignorant doctor decision, because now we know, and it's not like you're 40 and we didn't know back then, you know, like he's like 16. So, so now we know that like kids who are exposed to two languages when they're growing up, if the acquisition is slower because they are getting two languages. So they are like dividing some of the words that they are learning into languages. So it's normal to see that they are a little slow in what we would consider slow, which it isn't. So too bad. You would be trilingual.
Doctor lady, I know. So annoying.
So anyway, we wanted to talk a little bit about what it means to live as a bilingual person. We have different experiences because I'm living here and I'm living in a second language, where you were like I was before, that you use your language, your second language, but you live.
I get to return back to like.
Yes, you get to take a mental break, which I don't.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, okay. So the first thing that we thought of was that we get double experiences on everything. Because we're only talking about like bilingual, two languages.
Yes.
So it's double experiences on everything. Like, and this is something that like people that only speak one language cannot understand. And they don't know what they're missing out.
Yeah.
Because they will think like there are translations. Yeah, but it's not the same.
Not the same. And like Google Translate, in my experience, where like, again, like I know Spanish, I can speak it, but there are times where I might not know a word, or maybe I want to double check and see if the sentence sounds nice. So if I consult Google Translate, I would say maybe like 80, maybe 85% of the time it works successfully. And I don't know if that's me being generous.
I don't know. No, I love Google Translate.
No, it's good. Definitely in a pinch. But like I've definitely heard horror stories of people who like, I said this and Google Translate took it too literally. When I was in high school, my Spanish teacher, she was saying she needed to use the word can, like I can do this. But when she put a can, lata, like a can of beans. So I was like, so she's like, you know, again, it can work in a pinch, but sometimes not a lot.
Right now, Google Translate is amazing. Like at my job, I had to do a lot of translations, and I would like just put the whole document like, and not on Word. The Word translation is horrible, but the Google Translate is awesome. And if you do it like word by word, it doesn't make sense. But if you put the whole like paragraph, it comes out perfect. I think the difference is like in slang or like different, like if I use like a Mexican thing that not all Spanish can do.
Yeah, when I try doing Google Translate with your Mexican slang, I'm like, what the hell does this mean?
No. Sometimes I like text him the way, like the most Mexican way that I can, and he just, it's just funny. We have fun.
We sure do.
But I mean, going back to it, it's like movies, because like the acting, the voice is very important. It's not the same with like dub.
Yeah, no.
The books, the interaction with other people, which I think is very important. Like, I met you.
Yes.
And you get to meet other people that you wouldn't. Like, you're not going to be translating the interaction with other people.
You can't.
Like, all the time. Music.
Memes, los memes.
Oh my god, the memes that you wouldn't understand.
Double the memes has changed my life. I love it. Like I go on my newsfeed and I see a cool meme in English and then I see a cool one in Spanish and I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like a greedy little kid that way, but I love it. Double memes.
Yeah, and like you share a lot of like Spanish memes and stuff. I'm like, oh, your friends are gonna be like, what is wrong with this person?
Sorry for them. Sorry for you.
Sorry for you.
Niorka, I love her. After you introduced me to her.
Oh yeah, I introduced him to Niorka. Who else? Julieta Venegas. Natalia Mercado.
Oh like, my god, I listened to them. Yeah.
Because I was obsessed with like this song and like the music.
So different.
I know.
So much.
I know that music is international and you don't need to understand the language, but you kind of do
and it
when
helps.
you are trying to understand what the author is expressing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're missing out if you're not learning another language.
Shame on you.
Okay, shaming people not learning. Then we talk about the personality differences that you get when you're bilingual. I feel like I know I'm the same, but I'm like a little different in English as I am in Spanish.
You are.
And I don't talk to you in Spanish like as naturally and as like fluent as I would with my friends, because I know it's not your language, so I try to enunciate a lot more. But I'm like a different person, and I always have to be telling people, because in English I am like even more lame than I am in Spanish. So I kind of make a joke and nobody laughs. So I always have to say like, yeah, I'm funnier in Spanish, you know. Like, and then my like Spanish speaking are like, no, she's not. Yeah.
You make me giggle.
Yeah, but you giggle all the time, so
this is very true.
Count.
This is true.
Yeah, like my friends, they laugh all the time. Like Daniel, Josele, Annabelle. Yeah, you laugh.
Looking at you. Yeah.
They laugh all the time, so they ruined me. They made me think that I was funny. But I guess it's different. But whenever I'm talking to them in Spanish, I'm always laughing and blah, blah. And in English, I have to have a filter all the time. So, I don't know, my sense of humor is different. I'm a sad person in English.
Oh my god, no, you're not.
I don't know.
No, I mean, I totally agree. Like, when I was, like, in Colombia, or, like, when I'm talking to Spanish-speaking people, like, I just feel like I can't be as funny or, like, as sassy as I am in English.
Sassy.
No, it's sassy, yes. I can't. Or, like, if I can think of what I want to say in Spanish, the moment's gonna be gone because after I translate it in my head, after like a minute and a half, it's like the moment's gone. So it's like I can't be funny and sassy because it's like, dude, we moved past that like 5 topics ago. I'm like,
or you say it like in like you try to say it, but it's like an exact translation of what you wanted to say. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so you always have to say like I'm funny in my own language.
Right, exactly. So I have that same issue. So I'm like, if you knew English, I know you could get it. Like I know it would be so funny.
If
you guys
you knew
would be
English,
laughing.
you would like me.
Oh, but they don't.
Yeah. When I was back home, I was exposed to English and I was like working in English all the time. So I kind of had dreams in English, but now that I'm here fully immersed, like I had no idea what it meant. And now I dream in English, for example. Like there are days that I dream in English, or even when you have like multiple dreams, like one could be in English or depending on the person. Have you ever dreamt in Spanish?
I've never dreamt in Spanish. And sometimes I have dreams where like there's no talking though, so that's another thing too. Like, I'm just like trying to talk, but I can't. So
I'm trying to fly.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm
trying to hit you, and then I'm like,
oh, that's the worst. Oh my god.
We should do a video about
Dreams, yeah. When you're trying to run and you're like, oh, the bad guy's behind me.
I'm gonna turn and hit him.
That's the worst. Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, going back.
Okay. So, we're gonna edit now. Now we have like good audio, and we're gonna edit shit. Okay. So something that I have encountered here is that people think they are bilingual, but they're not.
Wrong. You ain't.
Yeah, no. And that's kind of heartbreaking for me because they're like, oh yeah, I speak Spanish. I'm like, ay, no manches, que bueno, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh well, yeah, that's Mexican.
Yeah.
And they're like, sí, yo lo que te, like.
Nah, son.
So I cannot hold a conversation. And so here in the US it's very different because of the construction of identity, and that they think that they are from a culture where they were born and raised here. So they present themselves as if, like, people would say to me, look, I'm Mexican, but they were born and raised here and they've never been to Mexico. So when they say I'm Mexican, I automatically switch to Spanish and I start talking like Mexican. And they're like, they have no idea what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I have to say I'm born and raised in Mexico for people to understand what it means. There was this girl that I knew, and she said she was bilingual, and then she was looking for a job, and she found a job as a bilingual like call center or something. And the first day she was like, oh, I'm ready, first call, blah, 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 blah. And she found out she was not bilingual. She realized like it's different when they are talking to their mom or dad or their grandmother and like simple sentences with some English and Spanish than to have a fluent conversation in a different language. You know?
I agree.
Or like teachers. Do you have a funny story with that?
So when I was in middle school, so Spanish had become, I think it had recently become a required course for us to take, which I was...
Fancy school.
Oh, yes. I was very like jazzed about because as I had said earlier, I had been taking Spanish classes outside of my school since I was 5. So I loved Spanish from the first class that I had ever taken, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to like kick ass in this class, whatever.
I'm ready to be Selena.
Yes. But it never happened. Well, not at that point. So what happened? So then, so they're teaching us how to speak Spanish.
I mean, they taught him well because he can communicate and like we can talk.
But then there were just certain words that were translated too literally, and it's because my teachers were not, Latina or Latino. So they, for example, one that I came to find out, I think last year, was trampo o trata. So we were taught, that's how you say trick or treat. On Halloween you go to trampo o trata, trick or treat. But then I said that to Mariana, and...
I mean, I wasn't the first one. You said that too.
Was it to Gio?
Yeah. But
thought it was to you.
then he was like, "Oh, you asked me because you wanted to corroborate what he said."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, you know, like we Mexicans, we don't say that because trata would mean like it kind of means like trafficking people." So I don't know. And then he told that to other speaking like Spanish-speaking people, and they were like, "No, we don't say that." I mean, we would say dulce o travesura.
Yeah.
That would be the most.
Travesura.
Like, travesura, yeah.
I don't know that word.
Trick, like.
Travesura. Okay, I know.
Travesura.
Engaño.
I mean, yeah, but that's not for kids.
No.
Like, the kid is engañándote.
Okay, got it. So I just learned a new word.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, because that's my experience. So like, I can communicate myself. I just might sometimes take a little minute to think of what I need to say. But then there are times where it's too literal and it doesn't work. So
anyway, there is another thing that happens when you're living bilingual. Ding.
I feel like we should put like a little thing, like every time we say living bilingual, it's like a little.
I hope we know how to edit that. Anyway, it was something that I actually learned. I didn't know like the terminology. I just knew that I was so tired, mentally tired. And there's something called foreign language exhaustion, which is when another person is immersed into a language that is not theirs, and you get like this mental exhaustion that it's so hard to explain. You just like you can't process anything. And like he was asking me if it was only in English, and no, it's in Spanish too. Like when I talk in Spanish to like my brother or my family or friends or whatever, I can't even talk Spanish anymore. And you know, we used to mock people like that back home. Like, oh yeah, se fueron al gabacho y ya se les olvidó el pinche español, ¿no? And like, yeah,
the tables have turned.
So I can't speak English very well, and I can't speak Spanish very well anymore. So that happens.
It does happen.
When you were in Colombia, did you experience that?
I feel like I got frustrated. I don't know. I don't really know what the symptoms of.
Symptoms.
I don't know. Like.
They're in the DSM-5.
Yeah, I should.
DSM, sorry.
No, it's fine. I should look it up. I need to get a copy first. But I definitely noticed that I got frustrated, pretty quickly, because I was like, I knew what I wanted to say, but it would take me like 2 minutes to like think of how to grammatically say it correctly, or you know, just like the whole day I'm talking to people in Spanish, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm like, I need someone to speak English with me. I'm like, this is too much.
That's my life every day.
Yeah, and again, as Mariana had said earlier, like this is her life every day. I was in Colombia for a week, and again, when I speak in Spanish with people in work or in my day-to-day, you know, life, I have that option to switch out. So like that fatigue, that exhaustion, I don't reach it that much when I'm here in the US, because I can always switch to English if I need to.
Yeah. I switched to Spanish, but no one understands. So yeah, I do switch, but no one understands.
Yeah. And
you know, some of the things are like that are not so positive, I guess. It's because if you want to know the science behind like what it does to your brain or whatever, go watch a TED Talk or read a book. Like we're here to talk about like our experience.
Yeah.
And for example, being sick is super scary because like you don't know how to like explain your symptoms, and like you're tired, you're sick, you're scared, or you don't understand what the doctor is saying. When you have to do like a process, like a legal or government process, my license, oh my god, we should do an entire video, like a series of videos, not just one, of what a hell it is to go and get your license here. Like it's hell.
I believe it.
Anyway, that was just sorry. Anyway, for example, fighting. If I get into a fight or an argument, oh my god, like I can't find the words. Like I can barely do it in Spanish, so in English it's 10 times harder.
Yep.
I bet in French would be more hard. Or harder.
Sacre bleu.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, because like anyway. I forgot what I was saying. Oh my
Well,
god.
arguing, you were just saying like the negatives.
Yeah. So I kind of use like whenever it's like an automatic thing, like if it's like an exclamation mark thing, like when we're driving and like something's gonna happen, I can't do like watch out. Like I can't do that. I always go like hours, and like people are like what?
Waters.
They don't process because you know Spanish.
Right, yeah. Right. This is true.
Anyway, that's one.
Yes.
Whenever I'm counting, like if I have to do it fast, I always have to count in Spanish. If I'm playing a board game, I have to do it in Spanish. Like everything that is like automatic, I have to do it in Spanish.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just like stupid now. I don't feel like, you know how they say like bilingual people are like your brain.
You're so intelligent.
Yeah, no, I feel like stupider.
No, stupid. It's so tough though. You're right. It's super duper tough. Like even like, and you had that experience with like more serious matters. Like again, when I was in Colombia, we went to a restaurant and I got like a steak or something, and the guy was like, "How do you want that cooked?" And I was like, "Medium." Oh fuck! And I was like, ooh. And then like I turned to my friend and like they actually didn't really know, so they had to think about it for a minute, and then they translated for me. But I was like, oh my god, what if I was by myself? What am I gonna have? Like super well done steak or rare steak? Like.
So what I do, this is a tip. What I do is I ask the waitress like, what are my options when I don't know what they're
That's actually a good,
Seriously, because that happens to me all the time.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
now it's easier, but at the beginning, even like sides of like the type of bread you want at a breakfast or whatever, like I had no idea. Like they have their little things that everybody takes for granted, but I had no idea.
Yeah.
So she would say like blah 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 blah, and I was like, what are my options? And then she would say it, or I would say, what would you recommend? And I'll just go with whatever she says because I'm like too fucking tired to think.
Sometimes you really gotta like be creative, you know? Like I've noticed that like if I don't know how to say something exactly in Spanish, like I might take like the longer way of like trying to like explain it, or again I might use like a shortcut and be like, oh, what do you recommend, or you tell me, or whatever. So you have to get really creative.
I think that's one of the reasons that we are like better at learning a different language, because we take risks. You know, like if I don't know a word, I would say it, and or I would invent a word. That happens. You know.
I do that all the time.
When you find someone that speaks your language, that is awesome. Like I was walking down, like I was in like Harvard Square, and I was like, no, and then I heard someone in Spanish, and I was like, oh my god! Like I just try to start a conversation with them.
Yeah.
That's because I'm lame. Also, and I try to
be my friend.
I know. I have no friends, you know. Another thing is that there are different types of Spanish. So whenever I hear like someone speaking Spanish, I'm always trying to identify where they're from. And if they're Mexicans, I'm like, oh no, never mind.
Why?
Because of the football thing. Like I'm so embarrassed about what's going on in Mexico. Like all the things that they're doing just because they want a
Mexico,
game with
get it
Germany.
together.
Get it together, man.
Come on. I know you can do better than that.
Anyway, we have some recommendations, right?
Yes, we do. So get out a piece of paper and a pen or pencil and jot it down.
Anótalo. Je bleu bleu bleu. So the first one is, do not make fun of people, their pronunciation, or if they have a grammatical error or whatever, don't make fun of them, especially if you only speak one language. Don't.
And I think like, I know we kind of talked about this before we started recording. Like, I think it's okay when you're like familiar with them.
Yeah, when you're friends,
when you're friends, it's fine. Like, I say things in Spanish and my friends like laugh because it's like, what the fuck did you just say?
We make fun of each other all the time, but we're friends.
But never a stranger or someone that you, an acquaintance or whatever. Like, you don't really understand how difficult it is, you know?
It's very difficult. That will bring us to the next one. Help each other, encourage each other. Like, if you see that someone is like self-conscious about it, just encourage and like try to be slow, enunciate or listen and try to help them out. Whenever I say something and like it kind of makes sense, but the other person is like it pisses me off. Like, help me out, man. Like, I know you cannot meet me halfway because you only speak one language.
Burn!
But make an effort, you know?
Yes,
like,
yes.
I don't know.
I agree.
And I guess practice.
Practice makes perfect.
Practice, yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like the only way to truly be bilingual is full immersion.
Yes.
Like full immersive schools and then full immersion into a culture.
And I feel like obviously like money is a factor, so not everyone can go to like Mexico or Colombia or Argentina or whatever and study abroad there for a year, whatever. But like for me, for example, again, as I mentioned in the beginning, I still struggle with Spanish a little bit here and there. I feel like I can write and read, like my reading and writing is fine. Speaking, I lag a little bit in comprehension when someone's speaking to me. I need them to like slow it down and then I can perfectly understand.
Say something in Spanish.
¿Qué quieres que te diga?
El siguiente vlog va a ser en español. No?
No. Maybe. We can try, actually try
Why
that.
didn't you say that in Spanish?
Oh, I'm sorry. Because again, you see, like, it's the convenience thing. I just go right to it. Pues, sí, tal vez. Sí.
Sí.
Because I don't want people to see me struggle.
Bilingual.
I don't want people to see me struggle.
No, yeah, I get it.
Pero. What I do and what I've recently been doing is like, you know, listening to a lot of like Latin music or watching a lot of Latino shows or talking to friends in Spanish.
Yeah.
So you can even immerse yourself in that way. It doesn't have to be some big fancy trip. If you can afford it, that's awesome. But if you can't, there's little things that you can do here and there that can definitely where you can immerse yourself and boost your language skills.
Yeah, because I mean, I was privileged enough to go to a full immersion English schools, which helped me, and that's actually why I'm bilingual. Because I only like immersed into the language when I moved here, and I've only been here for a year and a half.
Has it really been only a year and a half?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It feels like 10 years, right?
When's your 2-year anniversary?
July 15. It's almost
it's coming
years.
up.
Oh my god, it's not a year and a half. Anyway, so thank you for watching. Whoever is watching, we appreciate it. And we're trying to make it better. And we're gonna make a short version of this. But if you already watched the 30 minutes, that's awesome. Thank you.
You're the best.
And that's it. That's high five.
That was so good.
It
It was so good.
And I didn't look at your.
Oh, I looked at
elbow.
yours.
I didn't.
Oh,
I
would you
looked at
look
your
my
eye.
eye? Oh, that's right. Into my soul.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna turn this up. And I got my Luna shirt.
Yeah. That was so good.